Hello everyone, welcome to HT Waters Tarot. Today we're going to be asking one of those deep questions. And just to let you know, I do come from a certain type of bias when it comes to why do I feel lost or why am I lost type of questions. For me, it's always spiritual. So I'm going to tell you up front why I say that is to give you some framework of listening to these card readings as something that might be uncomfortable for some. That said, I'm open. So if any of the questions that arise, any of the answers that arise, don't fall into that matrix of spirituality or reality shifting, which I believe is potentially part of the solution. It's fine. I'm going to try to read it from an objective perspective, but I always like to give that caveat first. But this goes deep. And I think probably some of those cards will reflect it no matter what materially may also come up as far as on a superficial level. I think the answer always will go deeper, even if it might have a material answer. So that said, I hope that makes sense. It's a bit philosophical for an early Saturday morning. So take a deep breath in, blow out. Look at the cards in front of you, the three piles. I'm using different fossils, salt of the earth in a sense. This is and I can't pronounce them, different sort of centipede, osteopod. Again, I'm not going to try to pronounce it. And these, I love these types of spirals, shells, old fossils. I hope you can see them. And this one here, I'm not a big fossil. I think these are pretty. So that's why I wouldn't know how to pronounce them. Much better with gems and stones. And these are actually magnetic stones that have a magnetic pull to them. They're volcanic in nature. Earth is an amazing place, isn't it? So I just wanted to put those out there. Also, I love these. I think they're called boji stones. Okay, so take another deep breath in, another exhale. Look at these three piles. The one that you're drawn to will be your pile, and I'll see you in your reading. Oh, and make sure you use your heart space when choosing it. Always use your heart space when choosing them. That will draw you in the right direction. See you in your reading. So I'm going to be starting out with tarot, but first we're going to show you the Oracle card, which is from the Shaman's Dreams Oracle, right there. Deep diver, diving into a task. So welcome pile one. This is your reading. If you picked this particular fossil and were drawn to this pile, this will be your reading. Deep diver, diving into the task. So this is a great card to start off as the foundation for a calling or to find out why you feel lost or why you are lost. I started out when I picked these cards is why are you lost? So it's a kind of a definitive question, and then we'll go into why you feel lost, which is a little bit of a different perspective. But this I did on purpose because I wanted the foundation of the question was a little different when I first opened it, because I wanted to go and make sure that we were talking about something from a basic level of like a certainty that this is it. But no, in my heart of hearts, I know that when you are lost, it's because you feel lost as opposed to practically driving around and being lost. That's something different. I'm not talking about that, obviously. I'm talking about something psychologically, a feeling that you have no grounding or such. Okay. So this is number 10. the deep diver diving into a task. It's easy to play in the shallows where the waters are clear and you can see all the glitters by your feet. Anyone can venture here. There's little risk, nothing to discover, no dark secrets, nothing you can't already perceive. The treasure has long been picked away, replaced by a gentle certainty. It is the shallow river. In the shallow river, it's safety and no surprises. But if you're not, but that's not who's calling you. The deep diver invites you to take the plunge with him. Okay, yeah. You are called to look beyond the surface of things for your answer. Let your intuition propel you into water, allowing your memories to swirl around you and your emotions to well up as you face the unknown. Your curiosity will be your greatest guide. You shall surely discover something wondrous to bring back to everyone who is waiting by the shore. But only you will truly know the value of your discovery. Yeah, so this is super important because when we talk about feeling lost or not understanding your direction, it's super important not to just take whatever surface is, as opposed to, when you're driving on a road and you need a map, right? That's really basic stuff. But when you're talking about going deep, you're talking about your emotional triggers, why things aren't going the way you believe they should go sometimes, and taking a deeper dive into the emotional side, which can be scary. It is a little risky for some people, but well worth it. Well worth it. Okay, so we're going to go and read from the tarot then, the tarot deck. The tarot deck I'm going to be using is the tarot guide. This is a really nice deck with lots of bright colors and in it. Actually, wait a minute. I'm being called to use the Light Seekers Tarot, which is a different type of tarot deck. Because in actual fact, that's what we're doing here. We're seeking the light, aren't we? We're seeking some wisdom about what's going on. Why are you feeling lost? Are lost. And so I'm gonna change the language a bit and say, as I said before, if someone is lost, typically, emotionally, spiritually, it's because there's a feeling going on about it. There's something that's going on. Why do you feel lost? So that is where we're going to get into the core of the problem or the issue and trying to break free of it. Why do I feel lost? Why do I feel lost? Why do I feel lost? And why do I feel lost? For number one. And I'm just going to take the top cards. Okay, so the Moon, the Magician, the Ace of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Two of Wands, the King of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace, Four of Swords, and the Sun, and the Knight of Swords. Yeah, okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, because there's quite a few cards here now, I'm going to move these over, take these down, and I'm using the traditional Celtic cross reading here, because this is when you take deeper dives into some issues. All right. So the first card that came up as sort of the basis of the card is the Moon. So the Moon is the Moon of illusion, where you're getting stuck and seeing things that are distracting you. Those distractions are keeping you from your true path or your reality of where you need to go, and that is probably affecting your ability to feel like you know what you're doing or where you should go. The Magician is basically saying, reassuring you, that crosses you. You still have that ability to improve the current situation. You can make it happen. You have that ability to not feel lost. You have the ability. It all lies within us, right? I mean, that's pretty basic stuff. But if you get stuck into the illusions of the Moon, that will sort of make have a cyclical effect of the magician working with the moon and feeling the illusions and continually being deluded in a sense. So there may be a lack of maturity as far as truth goes. You need to get to the bottom of the core of what the truth is. And you have that ability with the Ace of Wands and the Magician. The Magician actually wields the Ace of Wands, the wand. In this picture, though, they're using sort of a figure 8 with their hands and making things grow, making things change. I'm going to read the actual book for this because, as I said, I've said before, the Light Seekers Tarot, which is really cool. I like the different sort of free-forming images in it, but I also like the book. It's a little bit different. So the moon. So for the moon reversed, fears that block you, difficulty separating reality and illusion, linear thinking, inability to process a spiritual or mystical experience. Okay, very interesting. Mental confusion, misinterpretation, anxiety, fear. Yeah, so right now there's a bit of a blockage because you're misinterpreting some of the signals, and spiritually, if you're willing to go deep and go down into the spiritual world around all of this and look at those illusions, you will start to find out why you are feeling lost. There are things going on here, and let's get some clarity on that. But the Wands is a very strong card. Maybe you're a creative person, and the Wands, the Ace of Wands, is the basis of your reality. You really like to create, and this is creating this inability to materialize that creativity is giving you problems, and that is subjecting you to the loss feeling. Remember, you're not here by accident on Earth or listening to this reading. The way to heal is to open yourself up and use your skills, your natural talents in order to get there. Because in reverse, the Magician is someone who isn't using their skills and they feel unsatisfied. So you're getting turned around because you're too much thinking about what could be the potential without doing the action in order to get to where you need to be. And it's not that you haven't dabbled in any different things, which is fine. But maybe now is the time with the King of Swords to focus, because the Page of Swords is also so looking at these, the Page of Swords is someone who is kind of dreaming too much and not being practical, because it's in reverse here. The Two of Wands is, again, someone who's doing too much of the daydreaming stuff, but in reverse. Let's see what the reverse of the Two of Wands says. Yeah, so there's a little bit of fear about taking the next step, and this is what the deeper dive is all about. You've got to stop fearing the unknown and just go for it and cut through the confusion, the delusion with the King of Swords, and take your creativity to the next step. The creativity is the base of finding out where you need to go next. So use that to your advantage. Whether it be art, writing, going to some of those slam poetry, and they will start to lead you towards the path of getting to where you feel like you're no longer lost. So Ace of Pentacles is about, again, another ace. You have two aces here, which is really nice. This is sort of where you are personally in all of this. This is the foundation of your creation. The Ace of Pentacles is the need to be generating wealth or money and paying the bills. So practically, again, that's how you see this. Whereas the spiritual side of you, the deeper side of you, is saying there's more to it here. It's not just about paying the bills. It's about using your creativity potentially to pay the bills. Go to where you love things, go to where you get to that space of creativity so you can overcome the idea of being lost in your creativity and turn this around and be looking to the future in a positive way. Right now, you're spinning in a sense of negativity around being lost, which is creating stagnation. So the Ace of Pentacles is about being practical, using your hands to make something happen, using the Ace of Wands to the Ace of Pentacles. These are really positive cards. So the Four of Swords is, again, that feeling of peacefulness, but this is an interesting card. I always find this because I don't find it very comforting. It seems a little, she's in a nest, but she seems very like, kind of, a little, she's trying to take reprieve, but I feel that her mind may be getting in the way, that even though she's sleeping and tired, there's a lot going on with there's kind of a sharpness to this rest, this reprieve. This is the environment you're around. So even when you're at rest, you're probably not completely at rest. But the suggestion here is that you need to take a break, step away, get some clarity. The environment isn't conducive for you being able to do this. Maybe take a retreat somewhere so you can really feel rested, so you can get to that point of the Sun, which is an absolute excellent card. It means that this feeling of loss is really temporary. You need to get back. You need to go back deep, and get to the place where where you find that true bliss again. It's only very temporary, but it does take some action. Use your mind to take that action. The Knight of Swords is, again, there's a few swords cards here, more of the swords than any of the other arcana, which is about the mind. So using your joy, your feeling of joy, to get to the Knight of Swords, where you want to move towards that, move towards the motorcycle, the freedom, chasing it down in a sense, but there's some action here that needs to be taken. It's the rest. The rest will give you the foresight. The hand working with your creativity side will give you the foresight to get where you need to go in the end, which is towards that bliss and freedom. Very, very positive cards. But anyways, I'm going to get a little bit more. But I do really feel the loss, the sense of loss is very temporary for you. It's not, it's like you've been there before and now you're coming out of it again. I hope that resonates. But let me get another card. The Green Witch's Oracle deck is the one I'm going to use. Angel Spirit Guides. Gratitude. Tell me pile 1 needs to hear regarding feeling lost or being lost. What is the cards? And I need to pull. Let me see how many I need to pull on this. It's saying 3, but I think that's a lot, so that I'll let it. 2. I'll pull 2 cards for this. Okay. So, planning, setting intentions, and optimism. Yeah, there you go. Spring, rebuilding, awakening, rebirth. Yes. So again, all these feelings like this is all temporary, but it does meaning that there's going to be a little bit of planning on your part to get moving. Use your creativity practically in order to pay some bills, and that will stop you from feeling lost. Meaning that even if you're doing one job, like as a barista or waitress or even accountant, I don't know why accountant came up. That's great. Do those things. Those pay the bills. But there's also part of you that needs to be expressed creatively, which is, I'm really getting a strong feeling that the Ace of Wands is very important and the Magician are very important to you, which means that you're using your hands to create something. And maybe you just sell one and that'll give you so much bliss. You don't have to make a huge business out of it or anything. Just be your side thing that suddenly starts to reap something that you sow, right? Planning, setting intentions, optimism, rebuilding, awakening, rebirth. So don't spin in negativity. And as I said, this feeling of being lost is temporary. Your foundation is already pretty deep. I get the sense that this is a spiritual group. I keep hearing that. So you know this. This is not the beginning of your journey. This is a journey you've been on before. So this is temporary. This is not going to throw you into deep loops or anything like that. Just being practical, using your side hustle in order to pay some bills. If you haven't been able to pay all your bills, and do other things to pay all your bills, this is how you'll get free and have that direction you need. So it's a bit of a magician's quandary because magicians need to know the spell in order to create the reality they want. Yet you don't get to that point until you practice your spell making, your creativity to get where you need to go. So it's a bit of a trial and error. So standing back, looking at the big picture, planning, setting some intentions, rebuilding and awakening and having that rebirth in spring will come quickly. I get a sense that this will be not a slow process. This is not going to be something that is going to bog you down. So angel spirit, guys, I'm going to get a timing oracle on oracle cards regarding this. One card regarding timing on feeling lost. How long will it take for them to get out of feeling lost? How long will it take for them to? How can they make this all happen fast? Yeah, March. They were already in March. So for right now, so this is like immediate. So this is a churn. So basically, it's almost like just like a mind shift, shifting towards something positive, and all the rest will follow. But it does take a bit of a step back. You need to take some rest in order to get back on your focus with the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is, to me, a very youthful, vibrant card. Even though it's the mind, it's your poet jam successes. The guys that go up there, or the gals that go up there and just lay it down, and you're like, wow. This guy knows his stuff. He's gone there. She's gone there. She's been there. She knows her stuff. She is the queen of her spiritual castle, which is part of why, even when she is lost, she knows she'll find her way out of it, or he will find his way out of it. And this is where spring, March, really positive cards. So, not to feel like. I don't want to dissuade you. Maybe this pile isn't for you. If this seems like, yeah, but I'm really in a painful spot. I don't want to dissuade you from getting help on that. I just would say, if you pick this pile, this is temporary, and you will get out of it. And remember that this too shall pass. But I get a lot of sense that this is not just only passing. That what you get in return will be a new focus on your path, which is awesome. So it'll take maybe a little bit of work with your creative sides. Use your hands, go out, do some gardening, reconnect to earth. Or if you're creative, if one of your creative passions is writing and finding different ways to make even your current job creative, it will give you some more direction. So pile one, that's all I have for you. I hope you found that enlightening or helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in your next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile two. If you made your way to this reading, please Welcome. And this is the fossil that was used to draw you in. Again, I can't remember the names. I don't do that. When I delve deep into things, I can usually pronounce the names of things, but not in this case. But really cool. And so this is going to be your pile 2. So the question I asked initially when I shuffled these initial cards for this is the Shaman deck, the Shaman's Dream Oracle. I very specifically asked, why does pile 2 feel lost? Why? So I did a shuffle, and I wanted to get deep into why are they lost. So I started with a statement: why are they lost? And then I'm going to delve into why do you feel lost, because I think it's all part and parcel of the same thing. Because what happens is sometimes people are lost, but it really is based on a feeling, right? It's like something that's in your control, and it'll become clearer as we go through the reading what I mean by that. But let me just turn over the first card. Radical acceptance, beloved. Okay, so initially when I'm reading this card, the take I get is the feeling of loss, or the believing you are lost, or I am lost is the statement you keep hearing, or you resonate with, is because of a lack of acceptance of yourself. What has to happen is a total radical acceptance of who you are at a very deep level. And this is hard. This is deep stuff. This is where you're just like, I'm going to accept all my flaws, who I am, and I'm going to be that best of that particular person. And I mean, it's okay to have on those facades in public, right? That's what we do. But if you want to get over this feeling of emptiness inside, that longing, you have to understand where that longing comes from. And the only way you can usually understand where that longing comes from is to really understand yourself. One of the things about longing is that fundamentally, that feeling of wanting a beloved or a partner, that longing is really a longing to know thyself. It's like a longing to love thyself. And it's partially a spiritual longing. So if you think of the spirit world as somewhat of a tripart, I suppose. I mean, if you're Christian, it's the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, or Sophia in the Gnostic realms. It's like a tripart. So, but one of the journeys of becoming spiritually attuned is to get to that space of longing and acceptance, but it comes through going above into the spiritual world and bringing it and grounding it down into your reality. And it doesn't have to be religion. You don't necessarily have to do this with religion. One of the greatest revolutions in history is how the Christian religion brought it down to earth. Obviously, indigenous people have been doing it forever. They have their shamans, they have their gurus, but in actual fact, everyone else is also encouraged to take part in those ceremonies and become part of a spiritual family. That's the same thing. In a sense, you're looking for that longing comes from a connection you desire, whether it be a physical partnership, which sometimes that helps, that soulmate. I get it. But one of the problems with doing that, if you're seeking something that may or may not occur, because soulmates can come in all forms. They don't have to be a sexual partner. It can be any kind of partner, right? And it can be a partnership in business. It can be, and you can resonate with people that resonate with you on a deeper level because you know who you are. So that's where you have to get to. Don't sit too much in the longing. But I'm gonna read from the Shaman's deck, because I think the Shaman's Dream deck on this particular card because I want you to understand the basics of the lost, that lost part. When the beloved appears, it requires 100% of your heart, body, and soul. Don't try to squeeze the beloved into your schedule. Drop the business and receive the one you have been waiting for. Know that this card comes as a mirror to show you that the divine within and then invite you your radical acceptance of everything you consider beautiful or ugly in your being. The beloved may not be a person at all. See, that's what I was trying to say. It might be a business venture, a project, or an adventure, calling it for your full attention. Love it. Let it light you up and give it your all. Surrender to this truth and know that you are gaining a passport to bliss, even when it feels that you've been consumed by the fire of the beloved. Do not pull back or be afraid. Be careful you are not seduced by false promises or falling prey to your extraordinary ability to sabotage your dream and desires. Sink with and sink into your heart and trust your sense of what is true. Your true beloved is never false. Every gift is proffered is valuable. Recognize the many faces of the beloved. I mean, this it's like, you probably remember Gollum from The Lord of the Rings and his beloved, the ring, the obsession. So that's the warning, right? That obsession with something outside of yourself, as opposed to finding and being clear within yourself. That's what you need to find before you give in to that particular passion. Okay. I mean, if it's a finite project, you don't have to worry about that. Sometimes that's the best, right? You know, this is what you're going to do from A to Z. That's why I like doing tarot readings, because it lights me up for a short period of time, and then I can stop. And I'm not exhausted all day because of it. So that's one part of it. Okay, so let's read some tarot cards. I'm going to read from the Light Seekers Tarot. So you can see the box. These are really good cards. The imagery isn't typical, so it's really an interesting deck. But I like the book that comes with it. So what pile, angel spirit. Oh, thank you. Pile 2. And then now I'm going to go into feelings. What is the feeling of loss here? Why do you feel lost? Not loss. Different thing. Why do you feel lost? Why is there a lack of direction? Why are you feeling lost? Oh, interesting. 2 of Cups. So yes, there's a relationship here, potentially. And maybe there has been a breakup. Oh, there's the Knight of Swords again. Reverse 10 of Cups. Yeah, there's something that maybe a long-term, the 4 of Wands, but there looks like there's going to be some future celebration, but there has been some pain. The Empress, I'm going to have to cover that card up. The 9 of Pentacles reversed, and then Justice. So justice will be served. Okay. So it looks like whatever, this is really interesting because this is very much about, it's mostly about relationships, I believe, because if you look at the 2 of Cups, but it could probably be also a project. So if you don't resonate with a relationship or a breakup, this is probably not the pile for you. But that said, let's delve right into this. The loss is really because every time you go through a breakup, and if this particular individual was a beloved and it was deep and there was a lot of pain there was a lot of joy though, right, previously, and that breakup occurs, you're dealing with a feeling that a piece of you is gone. right? That song from Take Another Piece of My Heart, Baby. You've got it if you can. What's that? Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin's song resonates quite deeply in situations where you really want that connection. Sorry about that. I had to pause it. But anyways, okay. So Janis Joplin's Take Another Piece of My Heart. So it's that longing to connect to someone. And if you connect to someone and the devastation that occurs after that type of breakup, because they have taken a piece of your heart, is really hard to recover from. But what it's telling you in this relationship in the past, think of all the happiness that occurred, even though there was pain and was some loss with it. You've come out of it you will come out of it. But this has created that loss. You feel like you need someone always to be there. You need someone to always be together with you all the time, okay? And that means that when you're alone or not feeling it, that loss, that part of you has an empty space. So your loss is directly related to still needing to find that part of you inside you that will complete you. It's not from someone else. But even if there's no breakup, because I also see a lot of happiness here, so this is where I was getting a little confused. And I'll get some clarifying cards in a minute, but because it seems to me that if there was a breakup, or if it is just because within the family frame of where you are and who you're around, you sometimes feel alone, and that makes you feel lost. Remember, it's all in your heart space, right? If you can heal that heart space of either past breakups or that feeling of longing and loneliness will go away. But that's where it's coming from. It's an emotional feeling of loss. But there's a lot of positive parts to this. Even though you've got all of this good stuff going on, the Nine of Swords suggests that you're still feeling pain. I'm sorry, my light keeps going off on this, but hopefully you can read it too. I can't keep stopping this. So that's just that pain. That Nine of Swords is that pain you feel from either a past breakup or in your current relationship when things don't go quite right. But remember, still in your future is the Four of Wands, more celebrations, more happiness, and of a sense of creation. Maybe you're having kids. Maybe you have had kids. This is a whole family thing. That's the Empress. I can't show you the card. But the Nine of Pentacles reverse suggests that you get stuck into satisfaction even though you have all of this positivity in your relationship. And past heartaches have created an inner wounding that needs to be healed. And with all of this, there will be justice to all of this. Even if there has been a breakup, you in the end will come out balanced. And so you have to find that balance card, that soul balance, where that longing, that hole in your heart is healed. And then everything else will come together. All those other relationships will come together. So the loss is probably, the feeling of being lost is coming from an emotional wounding within yourself, and finding a space to have that healed comes through your other relationships. Maybe not just one, maybe many. Because the Ten of Cups, although it is about one relationship, the Four of Wands suggests celebrations in many. And so that's why I'm seeing it. And the Nine of Pentacles is actually a solitary card, but you have the ability with the Fool to take those risks needed to find that balance within your own relationships. But you have to heal that longing within your own heart first. So let me just read the Light Seekers, the Justice card. Major Arcana always has a little bit more power. So the Fool and the Justice card give me a lot of good feelings about your situation, in the sense that all of this can obviously make you feel overwhelmed with the Nine of Swords, which we saw there. But it can all be overcome. The Fool, as long as you go with an open heart, fairness, cause and effect, integrity, objectivity, perspective, and accountability. Yeah, so Justice is telling you to learn from your past experiences, the good, the bad, and the fugly. Take it all and grow from it. This energy is not about perfection, but about fairness and honesty. It highlights the clarity of motivation and intention and asks you to be realistic about the cause and effect of your thoughts and actions. Yeah, so what this is really somewhat saying is that the past hurts and things have caused you to want others to fill that void within, yet obviously the other is within yourself, right? You know that. And this is just a journey, and try not to have your thoughts overwhelm them. So I need 2 cards from the Witch's Oracle deck to give some clarity on all of this. The Witch's Oracle deck, which I really love, about how this will all pan out. 2 cards, please. To give clarity about their situation, their feeling of loss, being lost, their feeling of being lost. Buds, new beginnings, expansion, spring again, yeah. So spring, rebuilding, awakening, rebirth. So a lot of springtime energy here, which is lovely. It's that whole rebirth, which is the Empress too. And even the Death card, which was in here at the very beginning, I believe. Yeah, it was. So rebirth and death, that there's going to be, and death never means real death, right? But there was some loss here internally, but there looks like environment-wise, there's a lot of joy and birth and rebirth and a continuing of that. And so don't let the loss of others feeling their absence to be the reason for you to feel lost, okay? Taking those risks, finding that balance within will always bring that ability to see new beginnings and rebuilding and rebirth. And there may even be, I'm seeing also potentially that there's a baby on the way. So maybe one of you is expecting, a family member expecting, and this is maybe you trying to deal with those overwhelming feelings of trying to figure it all out, and the fear that goes with bringing a child into the world. But please remember, there is a balance in the end that will help you overcome that feeling. But you do need to do some internal work to figure that out, some healing there. But it seems to me that the healing can also come from a lot of the individuals around you. So new beginnings. Let me just read from the Green Witch's Oracle. I love these cards. They're so uniquely positive and helpful at the same time. So, not like that whole toxic positivity. This is much more practical, and that's why I like these cards. Let me see if I can find spring. I found spring immediately. Rebuilding, awakening, rebirth, reawakening of the earth is always inspiring. New life is on the horizon. Spring tells you that it's time for a new beginning. It's the perfect time for you to launch a new project. Yeah, is there a project you want to launch that's you previously ignored? And I'm getting this message that starting, if you're having child, obviously you would redecorate a room for that child and expect it. And there's going to be new fruits and buds, and again, I'm just getting so much spring in the air. I love it. This is really nice. And just remember, the balance is important in the end. This is good news. All right, just one last one. Timing on all of this. Timing, when can we expect pile to not have these feelings of loss anymore? This feeling that they're lost. The feeling that they are lost. When will that go away? June. So summertime. Maybe the birth of a new child in June. Yeah, could be. Or alternatively, the fruition of the project that you were working on that filled your heart, and you found that balance happens in June. It's all good. So look at more buds, rebirth. There is so much fertility in this card. I rarely say anything about someone being pregnant or having children, but it all talking about that here. There's either a project or something that's being born here, which is going to help with that feeling of loss. And just so you know, change always brings up feelings of like, oh my gosh, a little bit of an overwhelm, which can also feel like the loss, which is what this is. This is the card that's sort of the reverse of the directions. This, if it's in upright, the Knight of Swords is all about knowing exactly what they're going for and getting there, with determination, purpose. They have something that they're following. But that, when you have a lot going on, all of that ends up feeling overwhelming to you and you can't get to where you need to go. But what all of this is talking about is you've got something very strongly birthing, either physically, really, or, you or your partner, or potentially with a project that'll all come to fruition in June. So good luck to you, Pile 2. This is a very positive reading. I think you've got everything you need in order to stop feeling those pieces of loss, not feeling it, because surrounding you is all of this positive relationship vibrations and family and rebirth and birth. So take care, Pile 2. Thank you. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. If you picked the two, as I said, I believe they're Boji stones, and they have this magnetic pool. It's very cool. They're natural stones. And the male and the female stones are what these are. But anyways, this is your reading. Thank you for joining me. And so when I pulled this particular card, the question I asked was, why does Pile 3, or does Pile 3, is Pile 3 lost? Yeah, it was very, very specific. I was using the term why as a statement, right? Why I am lost, not why I feel lost, but why I am lost. And then I'm going to go into why you feel lost. But this is Sky Dancers, Surrender. And I'm just going to read from the Shamanic Dream Oracle to talk about that. So When a sky dancer appears, she is inviting you to welcome the deepest power of the feminine into your life. You have already overanalyzed your situation to exhaustion. Now is the time to invite the sacred feminine, the wisdom within your heart, no matter your gender, to guide you to success. If you have become earthbound, plotting and planning and praying for change, cease and desist. Break the habit of being yourself, of repeating the same behavior and hoping for a different outcome. Stop trying to figure it all out, and stop overthinking it. Surrender. Dance in the sky and view the madness below by simply witnessing the actors and the human comedy unfolding on the ground. You are transforming it. As you observe the drama, you unleash the power of the sacred feminine, and that allows for resolution. Yeah. The sky dancers know the maps of heaven and the way to the holiest and the most sacred spaces on earth. They come to help you with your current life, and even more important, to guide you to the realization of your own divinity. So this is really an interesting card. It's beautiful, actually. It's a bit of a human butterfly metamorphosis. And I don't know if you can see that, but the sky dancers. And this is what I was talking at the very beginning of the call, where the other two piles were a little more, less of a spiritual journey for various reasons. This one, it feels spiritual to me, but maybe I'm wrong. So let me look so if that doesn't resonate with you, obviously this might not be a pile, but I want you to know this journey is a sacred journey, and it's amazing. But it can be very painful too, and it can actually lead you to feeling loss, even though you're on the journey itself. But what this card is specifically telling you is surrender to that. Don't get bogged down into the details. You don't want to use your mind in that sense. You go with your heart space. So, Angel Spirit for number 48. Pile 3. Tell me why they feel lost. Why they feel lost. Five of Cups. Yeah. Ten of Swords. Three of Wands. Page of Pentacles. Five of Wands. Three of Cups. Seven of Swords. Okay. Queen of Swords. I have to put that, I was told to put that in reverse. Ace of Cups. Seven of Wands. Okay. So I'm just going to put those to the side for now. I just pull them all because that's how I always do Celtic crosses when I'm doing a reading. So, and then we'll get some more clarifying cards at the end. All right. So let's see if you can see the first of the, I've already talked about the surrendering card. And so this is clarification on the loss, the feeling of loss. So the Three of Wands talks about stagnation in the basis of all of this. So, and the Ten of Swords really talks about suffering, but a lot of it is in the mind. The Five of Wands talks about competition and fiercely fighting, and maybe you're tired of that, because the Five of Cups really talks also about exhaustion. Even though it's in reverse here, I really get a sense of being tired. You're tired of fighting. And the Page of Pentacles is all about that balance, the balance energy. It's a bit of a slow ride, and youthful. And the need to move forward is in the Three of Cups, but it's reversed, which means there's some stagnation there too. So I'm getting a lot of, you feel like you've been trying very, very hard, and nothing's going forward. So this is a very much of a spiritual, I believe, a spiritual reading, because the journey is about finding that calling within and using the feminine power and will of your heart space to get there. So I'm going to read a couple cards because I think it's important to get some of this. But the Five of Cups. Let's see. Yeah, so not letting go of past trauma, crying over spilled milk, things that have gone over in the past. The Ten of Swords is what you sort of feel like the Martyrs card. It's when you really feeling like you've been stabbed in the back, and literally you may have been stabbed in the back. But this is all an opportunity to find that deeper healing. So even though there has been this feelings of betrayal in your past, this is the time to find that healing. This is the time where you can take this spiritual journey to the next level. It's a bit of a hermit time, frankly. Even though the hermit isn't appearing here, this is Three of Cups reversed, is telling you to sort of like, even it seems like your friendships right now don't feel satisfying. And that you feel like you're the one that's making all the work. You feel left out. And maybe you need a feeling that you need to do all the work in some relationships. Which can be super painful, obviously, if you're doing all the work and you're not getting reciprocity. But that said, the way forward is through the spiritual realms of seeking. Seven of Swords here. Again, this is about some feelings of betrayal. But you yourself can be grateful, because I read these two cards together, actually. So even though you have these feelings, the Queen of Swords is one of action in the sense of the mind. Getting beyond this. There's a feminine energy here of renewal and well, not renewal, sorry, using the mind in the process of renewing your own strength. And using these, Ace of Cups to get there too, which is part of the heart space. And the Seven of Wands, let's see. Yeah. And using energetic boundaries. So the Seven of Wands reversed is again, you're feeling attacked, which could be true for sure. The cards are saying that there's things that are not what they seem. But in order to get beyond these, you're going to use your mind and put up some energetic boundaries. Look up energetic boundaries and creating a spiritual space around you so you can get to this metamorphosis. This is, I mentioned, very much these cards to me are about a spiritual journey that you're taking. But the Sky Dancer is an amazing card. So it's telling you, you've been doing a lot of thinking about all of this that's going on around you, and the betrayal has been very painful. Understood, absolutely understood. But what it is trying to tell you is that that's the past. You've been overthinking it. Ask for help from the spirit world. Ask for help. They will help you on this process. It will either be in the form of someone appearing that's a guide. You sometimes you start reading about like going through some of the self-help books, and don't deride them, because they can be so, and people, sometimes society does, but they can be really helpful if you find the bright ones. I mean, The Power of Now changed my life. Eckhart Tolle, Tolle. Some of Deepak Chopra's books I really like. You don't have to buy them all. You don't have to buy them all. You just buy one, and you kind of tend to get all of the messages you need. Go to a bookstore and go to the spiritual section or the philosophy section, and go to the books themselves and just open books and ask for a sign, ask for some wisdom, and it'll all come to you. And this is the fun part of the journey. I love this part of the journey, because you can get all of this from your environment by just asking it. But you're going to have to give up some of those hurt feelings you've had in the past about betrayal, because it happens to the best of us. And it hurts for sure. And you sit with that hurt and you understand that hurt, but it's not going to get you where you need to go. So let me pull some 3 more cards, because I feel this group needs 3 cards for this particular part. And I'm not going to do a timing card on this, because this is a road that is long, and there's really no end. The Green Witch's Oracle deck. But what I would suggest will make you feel less lost, is looking and going inward and leaving behind those past hurts, because they only bring you sorrow. And look for signs of getting help. Surrender. Let be and let God. And I'm not coming from a Christian denomination when I say that. I just mean let Spirit help you. So let me see. Yeah, see, obscurity, feeling lost. I'm sorry. But there's more here. Please remember, that's why I said 3 cards. Harvest, yeah, determination. That's where you'll find your salvation. Remembrance, loyalty, faithfulness. Remember those times when people were, did you right? Because there will be times that people have done you right. And everything is not bad. Everything is not, sometimes things, think of every painful situation as an opportunity to grow. Think of every challenge that you come across as an opportunity to find something new to do, or an opportunity of a new way to respond. I don't know if you've listened to my road rage story, but that was a typical example of the universe providing me the opportunity to respond in a certain way. Maybe different this time. Look for ways in which to respond differently, which come from a heart space, which come from a good place. Surrender to Spirit and let them guide you. They always will. And they sometimes play games with you too. The spirit world is funny. I used to ask for signs a lot when I was younger about certain things, and then every so often the radio would, when I was supposed to, I don't know if they think of it as obnoxious, probably not, because the spirit world doesn't think like that. They think more like, she's not seeing it for what it is. They would come up with the song, signs, give me another sign. So, you know that song? It's a 60s song. It's hilarious. But basically, it's a song about signs telling you what to do. You know, it came right out of the 60s and the hippie movement, and the fact that there were too many signs telling you what to do. But that what there would be, this song would come on the radio when I was thinking about, I need a sign. Spirit world, I need a sign. I'm surrendering here. Give me a sign. And then they would come up with that song. So, yeah, they're funny sometimes. But if you're in a real pickle, you need what is the best way to stop that feeling of fog, which is what I'm reading from here. Do you have a problem plaguing you that could benefit from a different perspective, is what the book is actually saying here. This is the Green Witch's Oracle book. And that's what it's saying is, do you have a problem plaguing you that could benefit from a different perspective? So again, taking things, surrendering, give it spirit perspective. Let them take care of it. Just release it. Just release it. That feeling of being lost will go away. But this is long term. So I want you to understand that even though this may be painful, if you can get to a place of acceptance and surrender and allow Spirit to come in and help you, it will help a lot. They have not abandoned you. Spirit has not abandoned you. Sometimes it feels that way. As I said, sometimes they also want you to figure stuff out yourself. They don't want you to think that you don't have the power, because you have the power. But this card pile specifically is saying surrender to Spirit. That's what I'm hearing. There will be an answer. Let it be. I got a lot of songs going on in my head. Beatles today. And you can always find signs in songs too. But this is less about seeking signs than just letting be and finding it. Letting Spirit help you. It seems like there's been a bit of pain in this journey for you, and I'm sorry. Harvest, yeah, it'll allow the harvest to be there for you. Your hard work will pay off, even though you've done right, and you continue to do right. Let Spirit help you, and there will be a harvest. And remember the people that have done well for you. Remember those people in your past that have done the right thing. Go to that space, and that can help you. And maybe there's a person from your past that could help you too. Help you on this path and stop you from feeling lost. The way to get out of this, though, is to ask for help from Spirit. So when you go to bed at night, whatever religious denomination or spiritual denomination, or however you feel about that, and even if you're an atheist and you don't believe, give it a try. Go to sleep, and when you're asleep, before you go to sleep, just say, Angel, Spirit, Guides, I'm reaching out to you. Please give me an answer in the morning. And you will either have a dream about it, or in the morning you will be raised up. I ask for healing all the time at night, and it does so much good. It helps me so much. I just can't, my faith there has led me to such a much better path. There are always challenges. Don't get me wrong. They're always challenging. And this is what challenges, and this is what I was talking about. This being a long goal, a long-term issue, not an issue, but a challenge. It's just the way of the world is what we're taught. Earth is a hard knocks place to be. But that doesn't mean it's all bad, because there's so much joy. This card is all about joy. All about joy. I love it. The sky dancers and trying to find the joy in the small things. But I found maybe finding joy in spirit. Maybe that's where it needs, for you, that's where it needs to be right now. Well, pile 3, that is your reading. I hope this you found helpful. If so, please like and subscribe, and maybe we'll see you again. Take care, and thank you.